Hey, so I kind of wanted to continue a conversation that's gone on before, which is getting your work out there. Now, I've been at this for a long time. I've been working as an artist since I was 13 years old, sorry. The first job I got, I walked into a bar and asked if they needed posters made, and that's how I started. But I wanted to be an artist since I was 4 years old. Not a hobbyist. I didn't want to, do it whenever. I wanted to do, almost what I'm doing now, which is having painting my entire life. And it really, it is my entire life, as I've said in other videos. Everything about my day is about me getting to work so, I can paint. And when I don't get to get here early enough, it affects my painting, and I mentally and emotionally punish myself for not getting here early enough in the day to work. That's how seriously I take this. This is not a weekend thing. This isn't, I'm going to work for an hour maybe tomorrow or next week. This is every single day. This is 7 days a week, because this is what I want. And as I said before, if you really want to be an artist, if you really want to get your work out there, that's the level of commitment you have to have. You can be a waiter and dream about being an actor, or you can be a waiter and make acting actually the biggest part of your entire day, getting the acting job, not waiting on the table. So instead of waiting on tables, I'm painting. I also can't, because I am so sick. I can't take a 9-to-5 job. I have this illness, RSD, CRPS, and even that I don't allow to stop me. I don't let snow, ice, the mailman, dogs, this really odd illness that I have is not allowed to keep me from painting. In fact, I'm having a tough day today because we have a storm coming, and it's really hard on me, but this is my life. This is my whole life. This is everything I've wanted. So instead of dreaming about it, I'm working at it. So back to getting started, and I've talked to a couple people, or I've heard from people who haven't even been in a show yet, that they're painting at home, but they want to be. Just do it. Look around. You can't go from showing in your living room to walking into New York necessarily, although a couple people that has worked for, but only a couple, out of billions and billions and billions of people. So really, my suggestion is kind of not start off small, too small, but find out what's in your area, what galleries are in your area, or co-op galleries are in your area, and join them and start showing. Get in the practice of showing. Get in the practice of going to openings and listening to the criticism and taking the pats on the back and not taking either one seriously at all and not taking it personally. Either the "you're so wonderful" or the "you sucks" has nothing to do with you regardless. It's just people yapping. Openings are awful. But everyone's preening. But anyway, get in the habit of it. Then as soon as you've done a few of those, then start setting goals, like being in 1 show a month or 2 shows a month. Then start spreading out into the towns or cities around you. And once you're comfortable with that, then start shooting off for other cities. Don't relegate yourself to a hometown. If you really want to be an artist, showing to your friends and your neighbors is not going to get you there. That's the hobbyist. That's the guy who thinks, well, maybe tomorrow I'll take myself seriously, or I'll take, what I call my art seriously. The actual artist has a work ethic, and it is applied to their day, their work. You're self-regulated, so you've got to be really diligent. The real artist has real goals, and they keep climbing and climbing and climbing. And maybe not, like, I need to be internationally known. That's what my heart says. It doesn't have to be that. but you have to have real goals, not falling into a show. You know, not, oh, my club is having an opening, I'm having another show at my little, you know, my little club. I mean, it's fine if you want to treat your career as a hobby. That's fine, whatever. But for people who are asking me how I did this, I did everything I was asked to do. I took every opportunity I was given. Joan Rivers told me to. She said, never say no to an opportunity. So I took every opportunity I was offered. I also banged on a lot of doors and, you know, not bugged people, but you know, I really wanted to be shown. I really worked at getting into the habit of being in show after show after show after show after show after show. And then when it came time for my solo shows, it was almost easy breezy. And when you get to the point of, I want to have solo shows, and you can't get a gallery to play along with you because, you know, they're running a business or they've already got their year booked, see if you can get, I don't really highly recommend this other than it's an exercise, but book a vanity gallery. Most towns have some type of vanity gallery, or a gallery where you can, you know, you can kind of rent it out or rent it out for 2 weeks or a month, and they will, you know, everybody charges different amounts, but it's usually in the hundreds of dollars, so you want to be prepared for that. But look at the space, measure it out, really think what you want it to look like. And what I did when I started doing things like that to get myself bolstered to do bigger things, I would bring in canvases. Some of them filled, some of them not, just to see so I had a visual as to how much I needed to do. Now I can work very fast. I mean, I could, given the opportunity, I could, you know, I can pump out 10, 15 4x4 foot paintings a month, but that took me years to understand that, and know how to do it, and to plan, have my head plan ahead, and be able to paint paintings while I'm sleeping, so that I'm prepared to do the next piece and the next piece and the next piece and the next piece. It has taken me years, but you know, really look around at the space and try and understand what it is going to take you to fill that space. And if that space is too big, find a smaller space. Find something that you find easier to bite off, but work your way up. That's what I did. I was trying to think of something. Oh, this show that I had last year in Brooklyn, the solo shows, I actually overdid work. I walked in with about 100 pieces. I had, I forgot how many of my own paintings. Then I invited people to be a part of the show, because I didn't feel right not taking people who had been my friends along, or people who had supported me along. So I took people's work and we did kind of collaboration, which I'll talk about another time. And then I got to hang their work on the wall with their names next to it. And they could say, you know, we took pictures and everything. And then they could say, my work hung in New York. And the point wasn't to be like, look at me. It was to be like, thank you for being my friend. You know, let me take my hand. I can help you here. So, it didn't work out well with most of them. They, you know, they didn't take advantage of it, and whatever. I don't care. It was there for them to use if they wanted to. But we see that took up a small section of the wall. But the rest of the paintings were this size. They were 5 feet. There were some that were about this big. There are a variety of sizes, a variety of prices for customers or for potential collectors. And then I also did 20 silkscreen illustrations and framed those behind glass. And those took forever, because each one was a layer of silkscreen, and they were all hand pulled. Hand designed, hand drawn, hand pulled, hand torn, hand everything. And I had friends actually help me tear the papers. So when I walked in the door, I had work, you know, I actually had posters. I had my work photographed and then printed into posters. So I had $20 posters in my work. I had $45 prints, $85 prints, and then I had paintings that ran into the thousands. One was about $6,800. That one didn't sell. In fact, I don't think I sold any paintings. I'm not sure. I got to think about it. I can't remember. I've done so many shows. But yeah, I just worked my way up to being able to take on a space like this. And it was in a very public spot. Thousands and thousands of people went through there every week and saw my work. So it was big. It was a big deal to me. It was a huge deal to me because I had been working for years to be able to do it. And I did it. And that's it. Just start in your town, start with your local gallery or artist clubs, whatever they are. But if you really want to be an artist, don't get mired in that. Don't stay there. If you want to be an artist who, who keeps climbing and climbing, you've got to get out of your comfort zone. And that's the hardest thing. It's really easy to go, look, Mom, look what I made. It's a lot harder to get this in the newspaper, online, to take on criticism from people, to be rejected by the public, to have no one show up at an opening. Shit, that happened to me. I've shown in places where the management has said, we have never had this many people show up to an opening before. I've had 300 or so people show up to one of my openings on a rainy winter night. And then I've had openings where literally no one has shown up, but maybe a couple of my friends. It's humiliating, and it happens. Oh, another suggestion I have, if you really want to get in the mode of getting bigger and bigger and bigger, or getting out of your comfort zone, a thing that helps too to get your name in the paper and to bolster your courage is to pair yourself up with someone whose work is comparable to yours. It doesn't have to be exactly the same, but someone who has, number one, the same work ethic. Number two, will actually show up and help do the work. And number three, has the quality work that you want reflected on yours. You've got to find a pairing. That way you've got two audiences coming in. So when you put it in the paper, when you put it online, we're having an opening. Susie Q and I are opening. You're reaching out to not only people who know you or know your name, but also know Susie Q and her name and her friends. And that's another thing that I've done with people, so that we keep working and working and working, and we have a better chance of getting our names out there and our work out there. So there's a couple of hints of things to do. But no matter what, if this is what you want, if you want to be an artist, if this is going to be your life, you do not give up. You do not put anything above this. You do not listen to criticism. You do not listen to no. Someone shut the door in your face. You know what? There's a billion other ones. There are billions of them. I had someone say to me once, he was really being a jackass, and he said, one day you're going to come back to me and you're going to be begging for me, begging to show for me again. Dude, are you kidding? He was treating me like garbage. Are you kidding me? I had another gallery who wanted my work and kept, oh, we need to have your work. They took it into the gallery and then they put it behind the open door, hanging up. Like, they wanted to have me, and I was the only local in this gallery. It was hanging up behind the door. Then they blamed me for it not selling. So when I'm saying to you, don't listen to that, don't listen to the negatives, don't listen to the no's, don't listen to it's all your fault, you should have, da-da-da. Shut it out. 99% of the time it has nothing to do with you. Not if you've done the work, not if you've prepared, not if you've done your homework. If you're lazy ass and wait till the last second, don't bother, yeah, then it is your fault. But if you've done the work, if you've done the promotion, if you've taken advantage of every opportunity handed to you, the gallery owner, the management, whatever, has no right to turn around and say, oh, it's your fault that we hung it behind a door and it's not selling. So just learn to not listen to that, but just keep your eye on whatever that goal is. I want to have a solo show in my hometown. That could be a goal. I want to pair up with Susie Q and hold one show this year. That could be your goal. But you keep that your eye on the goal, and you just keep working at it. Block everything out. And that is my big fat dumb advice. If there are any other questions, please message me and I'll try and answer them as soon as possible. All right? Thanks so much. Ciao.